Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. ITV, The Chaser's Bradley Walsh declares you've won moments after missing obvious question. The studio lights glowed brightly on the iconic set of The Chase. Bradley Walsh adjusted his cuffs, flashing his charming grin at the camera. It was just another weekday afternoon, and millions of viewers across the UK were tuned in, eager to see who might outsmart the Chaser. But little did anyone know, today's episode would soon be etched into game show folklore. Right then, Bradley clapped his hands and smiled broadly. Let's meet today's team. First came Sandra, a retired librarian with a love of gardening. Then Kevin, a soft-spoken software engineer. After him, Gemma, a cheeky waitress from Manchester, who declared she could outsmart any chaser on a good day. And finally there was Trevor Stone. Trevor, 41, ambled up to the contestants' podium with the swagger of someone who had once been on local news for rescuing a hedgehog. Balding, bespectacled, and wearing a garish Hawaiian shirt with matching orange Crocs, Trevor was a walking question mark. Trevor, welcome to the Chase. Tell us something interesting about yourself, Bradley said. Trevor scratched his chin. Well, Brad, I once tried to live off-grid for a week in my garden shed. I made it 3 days until I ran out of pot noodles and signal. The audience erupted in laughter. Bradley chuckled. A true survivor, eh? Trevor's cash builder round started smoothly. What's the capital of France? Paris. Correct. What is 5 multiplied by 6? 30. Correct. Then came the third question. What fruit is used to make wine? Trevor squinted. Oh, potatoes. Bradley blinked. Sorry. What? Potatoes, Trevor said confidently. That's wine, right? Or is that vodka? The studio fell into stunned silence. A soft giggle came from Gemma off camera. Incorrect, Bradley said, trying not to laugh. It's grapes. Ah, yeah, Trevor nodded. Knew it was something squishy. Despite the blunder, Trevor ended with a respectable £5,000. He grinned like he'd just solved world hunger. The chaser for the episode was none other than Mark, the Beast Labbit. As Mark lumbered into the studio, the atmosphere shifted. He loomed large, intellectually and physically. Trevor, Mark said, eyes narrowing. That potato answer will haunt me. Don't worry, mate, Trevor said cheerfully. I've got plenty more where that came from. Bradley chuckled. Let's set the table. You can play for the £5,000, or take a lower offer of £500, or go higher with £50,000. Trevor didn't even blink. I'm going high. Go big or go back to the shed, I say. Gasps echoed around the studio. Even Mark raised an eyebrow. Bradley looked impressed. Brave man. The head-to-head began, and surprisingly, Trevor kept pace with the Beast. He answered questions about Greek mythology, classical music, and even cricket with surprising ease. And then came the question that changed everything. Which animal is known for its black and white colouring and loves to eat bamboo? Bradley looked up at Trevor, fully expecting the obvious answer. Trevor paused. Is it a zebra? Bradley blinked. You're joking, right? Trevor looked confused. Zebras are black and white. Don't they eat bamboo? The camera cut to Mark Labbit, who looked like he was swallowing rage. It's panda, Bradley said flatly. Trevor slapped his forehead. Right. Panda. The bamboo bears. The audience groaned in disbelief. Jenna from the team audibly said, "Trevor, come on." Despite the panda debacle, Trevor miraculously stayed in the game thanks to a misstep from Mark. Now it was down to the final question. Bradley read it aloud. "What is the only planet in our solar system that rotates on its side?" Trevor bit his lip. "Uranus?" Bradley stared at him. "Correct." The studio erupted. Trevor had won the head-to-head and brought back £50,000. "Ladies and gentlemen," Bradley grinned, "this man thought wine came from potatoes, and that pandas were zebras. And yet, he's beaten the beast." Mark shook his head, muttering, "I need a sabbatical." The team's final pot stood at £65,000, thanks to Trevor's high offer. In the final chase, the team performed admirably. Trevor was surprisingly sharp, contributing answers about Shakespeare and World War II. With 19 steps set, Mark began his chase. Then came the moment no one expected. Mark was 1 step behind with 10 seconds to go. The tension was thick as Bradley asked the final question. "What is the term for a baby kangaroo?" Mark answered confidently, "Cub." Bradley's eyebrows lifted. Incorrect. Time ran out. The studio went silent, then erupted in cheers. Bradley burst out laughing. "Oh my goodness, you've won." The team screamed. Trevor jumped up and down, nearly losing a croc. Bradley turned to the camera. "Ladies and gentlemen, this might be the most bizarre victory in chase history. A man who thinks wine comes from potatoes has just helped win £65,000. Trevor ran to the desk, yelling, "I'd like to thank my shed, my cat Pickle, and anyone who's ever mistaken a zebra for a panda." The episode went viral within hours of airing. Clips of Trevor's answers flooded social media. Memes popped up. Potato wine became a trending phrase. Even major newspapers picked it up. The most confused winner in game show history. Trevor was invited to appear on multiple talk shows. On Good Morning Britain, he told Susanna Reid, "I was aiming to win enough for a new shed. Now I'm thinking hot tub and solar panels." Mark Labbett tweeted, "That's the last time I underestimate a man in Crocs." ATV executives began scripting special episodes featuring chaotic contestants, all thanks to Trevor. Backstage, after the show, Bradley Walsh stood beside Trevor. "I've done this job for years," Bradley said, shaking his head. "But you, my friend, you've redefined what it means to be unforgettable." Trevor grinned. "I'll take that as a compliment." "It's both a compliment and a warning to future chasers," Bradley said, laughing. "Expect the unexpected, and maybe brush up on your bamboo knowledge." Trevor's life changed overnight. People recognized him in supermarkets, asking for selfies while holding bags of grapes or boxes of pot noodles. He was invited to open a new community centre in Basingstoke, where they temporarily named the meeting room the Shed of Champions. Soon, merchandise appeared. Mugs, T-shirts, and tote bags read, "Wine is made from potatoes, and I beat the beast in Crocs." Even Bradley sported a shirt on a future episode, flashing it to the camera with a wink. Trevor took it all in stride. He didn't hire a manager or chase a book deal. "I'm not after fame," he told a journalist. "Just a new roof for the shed, maybe a toaster oven." Months later, rumours swirled that ITV wanted to bring Trevor back for a Champion of Champions special. When asked in a radio interview if he'd return, Trevor laughed. "Only if I can bring Pickle and wear the Crocs. They're my lucky charm." Bradley Walsh, when asked about the prospect, smiled broadly. "Let me tell you something," he said. We get geniuses, we get masterminds, we get all sorts on the chase. But only one Trevor. And when that man missed Panda and still won us the day, I knew we had a legend.